Good morning, everyone. My name is B. Yowzi. I'm an LPC associate here at Frontera, supervised by Dr. Amos.
And my name is Jenna Summers. I'm also an LPC associate here at Frontera, supervised by Dr. Amos.
Awesome. So today we're going to be talking about another topic for this Mindful Monday. Before we get started, we want to take a moment to recognize our incredible partners. The Wellness Uncorked initiative is made possible through a partnership with the Texas Wine Auction and Frontera Healthcare Network. This initiative allows us to provide free group counseling, classes, educational seminars like this Mindful Monday you're watching, health fairs, and more, all designed to support the well-being, especially the mental health well-being of our community. Today, we're going to dive into a topic. Let me jump back into it. Social anxiety and fear of being judged, which me and Jenna, when we were working on this, we thought this is such an important topic to discuss. So this will help us improve our mental health well-being. So let's just begin. Here's our agenda. So we're going to talk a little bit about what social anxiety is and how does it look, how does it present in our daily life. It's a little different for everyone, but we're just going over broad strokes. And then tips to overcome, and then why do we feel judged? And then we talk about the comparison game, and then at the end, really showing how do we build our self-confidence. So let's jump in.
So, anxiety overall, anxiety's trademark is that it only considers the future. And even if that sounds okay on paper, anxiety tends to focus on a future where the worst case scenario happens. So instead of feeling prepped and organized, it can leave you feeling frazzled and afraid. So we're thinking about things like all the things that can go wrong and not all the things that can go right.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, Jenna.
What is social anxiety? Social anxiety disorder or social phobia is a mental health condition characterized by intense, persistent fear of being watched, judged, or embarrassed in social situations. It goes beyond shyness, causing significant distress and avoidance of daily activities like speaking in public, eating with others, meeting strangers. And this includes meeting new friends, going to work functions, going to school functions. So the key aspects of social anxiety are the physical symptoms, which can be increased heart rate, sweating, blushing, nausea, mind going blank. So we completely forget what to say when we meet somebody new or we're in a group setting. Some behavioral indicators, we just avoid going to social gatherings. We don't even try to meet new friends or network with our colleagues. Avoiding eye contact, using alcohol to cope, or becoming overly reliant on parents or caregivers. And this can limit academic and work achievement. It can cause loneliness and it can hinder the ability to form relationships.
Yeah. Jenna, what I like about this thing is that you were talking really, it can impact your everyday life. I think we all have a little bit of social anxiety. I think that's natural.
Mm-hmm.
But when it gets to the point where it's starting to limit your academic or social work, or if your work achievement, those type of things where it's like, I can't even do my job. I can't go to the business meeting, or, when it starts to really limit those big areas of your life.
Well, and this can even be, if we talk about school age, this is, we're sitting in class, elementary, middle school, high school. We don't understand the lesson. We don't understand the topic. We don't understand how to work through something. And we're too afraid to either ask the teacher or ask a friend.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So then they're sitting there and they're failing, and then that's anxiety because they're failing. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it can be a pretty nasty chain of event.
Yeah.
So how does social anxiety present? Common behavioral signs can be skipping parties, birthday parties, and then that can trickle into we feel left out when we get to work the next week or we get to school the next week and everybody's talking about, how much fun they had. And well, we're not a part of that, which makes us feel even more isolated. Skipping meetings or school, avoiding going places that you would really enjoy, just to avoid some potential embarrassment. Safety behaviors, using phones as a shield, staying near exits, using alcohol to feel comfortable in social settings. Some of the more subtle behaviors are speaking with an overly soft voice, or avoiding eye contact, or maintaining a rigid posture, which can drive people away from approaching you and trying to build relationships with you. Some preparation, spending days or weeks worrying about or preparing for a minor or major social event. And these things can cause sweating, trembling, nausea, dizziness, upset stomach, your mind going blank when speaking to others, excessive self consciousness, and feeling as though everyone is watching or judging you. Feel a fear of looking stupid or incompetent or foolish, and then ruminating on social interactions afterward, focusing on all the mistakes that you feel or you worry that you made. Oh, I shouldn't have said this, or maybe I should have, brought this up and not this up, and conversation might have been better or less awkward.
Yeah. Or you're still thinking about it and it's been a week and a half or 2 weeks and it's like, hey, why am I still thinking about this? Right. And it was just this common interaction, like, hey, how was your day? And you're like, oh, it's okay. And you're like, wait, I should have said great.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Are they worrying about me now?
Yeah. No, exactly. It can be as big or as small as that little interaction of like overthinking it. Yeah, of course.
Here are some tips to overcome social anxiety. So, gradual exposure, create a list of feared situations or places and slowly expose yourself to them. Start with less stressful ones in order to desensitize your fears. You can shift your focus outwardly rather than focusing on your own nervousness. Concentrate on the conversation and the environment and the person that you're interacting with. Practice relaxation techniques. You can use deep breathing, meditation, grounding to manage the physical symptoms. Challenge avoidance. Avoidance reinforces anxiety. So instead of avoiding social events, try attending them, even if it's for a short time, or bring, your safe person or a trusted friend with you to help you feel more comfortable. You can reframe your thoughts. You can challenge these irrational thoughts about being judged by realizing that anxiety is not as visible as it feels, and others are often really just focused on themselves. Others also could be going through the exact same thing you're going through. You can get some professional help and make some lifestyle changes, like going to therapy. Maybe medications might be helpful for you, such as SSRIs, in order to assist in managing these symptoms. You can have therapy with cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the gold standard treatment for social anxiety. CBT helps you identify, challenge, reframe negative thoughts, along with providing coping skills. Your support systems are very important. So talk to trusted family and friends about your anxiety and help build that supportive network. And self-care is extremely important too. So reduce caffeine, get regular exercise, and practice good sleep habits. And all of these things will help overall reduce anxiety levels.
Yep. And I think that self-care, yes, therapy, medication, cognitive behavioral therapy, all those support systems are important. But, Jen and I working with, kids, adolescents, adults, self-care is so important. So really saying, like, how am I eating? How am I feeding my body? How am I feeding my brain? Am I sleeping good? Am I not sleeping normal? Do I need to talk to a doctor? So really looking at your health and seeing, okay, how am I taking care of myself and what do I need to adjust?
And they're all parts of a whole, right? Yeah. So, it's like a puzzle. We have to have each piece of this whole process in order to feel better overall. Yeah. So each of these things are equally as important.
I agree. So now we're going to talk about, why is everyone judging me? I know Jenna did a fantastic job explaining social anxiety, and oftentimes we feel like we're being judged. We're being judged by others. We have the spotlight effect. I always think of going to school and being on the stage, and that one light's on you at like the spelling bee or maybe the award ceremony. You just feel like everyone's watching you, and sometimes you overestimate how much others notice you or your actions or your flaws. So really that judgment is magnified. It's common for people who deal with social anxiety, overthinking past experiences with criticism or even future experiences. It could be like, how am I going to act in this situation at the meeting? Or how am I going to be at the field trip next week? How are my friends going to see me? So most people actually are too focused on their own insecurities to really judge you deeply. Like everyone has their own issues, their own things. Most of the time, they're not even thinking about how you said that, good instead of great, right?
Exactly.
Or okay instead of great. So why you feel judged, the spotlight effect, like I talked about, you feel like you're on a stage, all attention's on you, but reality, people are not really paying attention to you. They have their own lives. Social anxiety and insecurity, when you feel insecure, you may assume others share your negative view of yourself. So if I see this negative view of myself in the mirror, others must see it too, right? And then I always think about girls with their hair, right? Oh my gosh, my hair looks horrible today. And then someone's like, oh my gosh, I love your hair today,
Yeah.
right? It's like they're not seeing what you see. And we sometimes put so much pressure on ourselves. Overthinking and rumination, replaying those scenarios in your mind, assigning negative intent. So like, man, I knew that was a bad situation. Why did I say okay instead of great? Because I really was feeling great. I just got nervous. We all get nervous. So really thinking, how am I replaying these scenarios? And am I putting a negative spin on it instead of thinking positive? Past experiences. So growing up with highly critical parents or maybe a highly critical environment. It may not be your parents. Maybe it was a teacher, a principal, or a priest, someone who really had an effect on your life, can cause you to anticipate judgment. Projection. Sometimes a judgment you feel is actually of your own internal critic and projecting it onto others. So if I'm like, man, I have to be the best, or maybe I don't feel like I'm the best, then I might project that onto Jenna of like, oh, Jenna, like, why does your hair look like that? Or, oh, that's an interesting choice, when it's really my own judgment of myself, but I'm just putting it on other people.
Well, and remember, B, that we attract what we put out, right? Mm-hmm. So if we're constantly complaining and negative or fearful, those are the kind of people that we're going to attract into our circle, because complainers like complainers, right? So if we practice and train ourselves to put out positivity, you're going to attract people that are also like that. Yeah. Happy people like happy people, and so you put out happiness and positivity. That's what you're going to attract into your inner circle.
No, of course. I love that. And you're going to have people that support you that are also going to be like, hey, like, pat yourself on the back, or, instead of the negative, like, well, you could have done this better. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's awesome. So how to manage these feelings. So challenging the thoughts, and that's part of that CBT, that reframe. Ask yourself, do you have concrete proof? Do I have evidence against this negative thought? Or is it just a feeling, right? Because we all have feelings, but feelings don't mean that is the cause and effect, right? It doesn't mean that's actually going to happen. So shift your focus outward, like Jenna was saying. Instead of focusing on yourself, focus on being in the present moment, listening, being with other people, being in conversations, and being positive in those, right? Mm-hmm. How can I make this a positive experience? Social media, this is a big one, can increase the perception that you're being watched or evaluated, right? When you're watching your favorite celebrities or singers or influencers, right? Making sure you're having a mental checklist of, okay, their life is different than my life, and not putting too much stress of, well, I don't go on these vacations all the time, or things like that. So really watching what you see on social media.
And remembering that what we see on social media, that's that spotlight effect, mm-hmm. right? They're only spotlighting every good moment that happens, and they're creating good moments to happen in order to put onto social media and get more views. So those people have struggles too. And just mm-hmm. remembering that they're only choosing to spotlight those happy, successful, thriving moments that they have.
Yeah. And then 2, self-compassion. You have to love yourself with kindness that you would give someone else. Mm-hmm. I always say, how would you treat your younger self, right? If you could mm-hmm. look back and see yourself at 6 or 7, like, how would you talk to yourself? Would you be judging yourself? Would you be negative, or would you talk kindly to that kid? That's right? So seeing how you take care of yourself, how you talk to yourself. I always say, would you talk to a friend like this? Most times mm-hmm. it's like, well, no.
Right.
So then why do we talk to ourselves?
Yeah, that's a great point, B.
Yeah. So that, and then 2, right? Talking to a therapist, seeking therapy, getting some real skills, right? We can do our skills with support and things, but sometimes it takes a therapist to really point out those spotlight effects and really be like, hey, like, let's really work on this. So making sure we have a therapist that can give us those tools. Um, and then the comparison game. So the game, it's a psychological habit of measuring one's own life, achievements, appearance, or possessions against others, often leading to a lower self-esteem. You may have envy and reduced happiness, right? Because you're like, well, I want what they want. It is considered a losing game because you're losing to yourself. Because really, if we have this negative thought, I'm never going to reach this goal, guess what? You're never going to reach it. So you're giving yourself the losing game, or a thief of joy, because it often compares one's behind the scenes reality to others' curated highlights. Kind of like what Jenna was saying, they're giving you that one highlight of the perfect vacation. They could have been sick the rest of the days, but they showed that one picture on day one where they got off the boat or off the plane. So some key aspects to the comparison game: the trigger. So it starts with viewing social media, or maybe it's TV. I know not many people watch TV now, but it could be TV, maybe a colleague, where people showcase a perfect holiday, body, or accomplishment. Then we move into the mechanism. So the individuals compare up. So focusing on those who seem better off, or engaging downward comparison to feel better or worse about themselves. Now we go into the consequences. This behavior can trigger anxiety, depression, a scarcity mindset, feeling like there's not enough success or happiness to go around, or feeling you're losing time. Time's against me. I got to hurry up. I got to get to these goals. I got to get that promotion. So that makes you feel inadequate. And then why do we do it? Human nature drives us to assess our standing, but the game is often fueled by our insecurities rather than our strengths. So practicing gratitude, limiting social media exposure, and acknowledging your wins, acknowledging, hey, these are the things I do right. And everyone else has their struggles and their weaknesses. You just don't see it, right? So why this game is a little flawed, right? So it's irrational. It's based off of apples to oranges. You're comparing someone's life that isn't your own. Everyone has a unique upbringing, lifestyle, circumstances that makes them who they are. It's inaccurate because people show only their best parts and not their challenges. And then two, it's unproductive, right? So it breeds jealousy, dissatisfaction, and distracts you from really achieving those goals that you have for yourself.
Right, because we're not focusing on those goals, B.
Mm-hmm.
If we're playing this game, this losing game, we're focusing on everybody else, what we lack, what we wish we could look like, what we wish we could do. Oh, I should have gotten my degree, at 21 like she did. Whatever the case may be. I mean, we can't focus on our personal goals because we're steadily focusing on everybody else's.
Yeah, and that, again, we're not getting the momentum we need to get to where we want to be. So how to build confidence. So wrapping up this confidence. You have confidence. Everyone has confidence. It's just within ourselves. And sometimes you got to dig that back up if you've been building yourself down for so long. So building confidence is self-esteem, and self-esteem involves taking intentional action, challenging the negative self-talk, and then cultivating self-compassion. So really what we're looking at, and I know Jen and I have talked about this a lot, is, taking action and facing your fears. That breeds that confidence, right? Oh, I don't think I can do the spelling bee, or I can't do the UIL event. Well, I'm going to give it a go because my teacher's going to help me and give me the tools I need to be as successful as I can. I'm going to give it my all. And that's the best we can do.
Using those words of affirmation. I can do hard things.
Yep. Positive affirmations. I love that. And then prepare and practice, right? So really practicing those skills, learning new things, increasing your self-awareness. Oh, I can't help people in my class. Oh, well, I just helped Tim or Timmy, with his spelling. Oh, I can help people. And then speak slowly and assertively. So speaking with authority, even if you don't feel it yet, can influence how you perceive, because that's really retraining those thoughts of negativity. Oh, I can't do it. No, I can, like John said, I can do hard things. And that's okay. It's going to be uncomfortable, but we're working towards those. And I know many people have seen this before, SMART goals. I know Caitlin and I talked about this months ago, but really having those SMART reachable goals set in place so you can finish small tasks or finish small positive affirmations for the day or the weekend. And then looking at the long term, positivity, having a gratitude diary, focusing on the positives, building a supportive network. Like Jenna said, who am I hanging out with? Are they negative people? Because that's just going to bring negativity. Or are they positive people that are going to support me and say, hey, like, look at the brighter side of things? And then two, your physical self, taking care of yourself, that self-care, exercising. How am I eating? How am I sleeping? How's my health? Have I gone to the dentist? Have I gone to the doctor? Do I need a checkup? Right? Keeping up with that can help reduce the anxiety and impacting your self-worth.
Maybe not the dentist, B.
Well, hey, we all need to go to the dentist, but
I don't know that going to the dentist lowers my anxiety, but yeah, I can get on board with the rest.
Yeah, the rest. Yes, I love it. And then social media exposure. Really, you guys, this is so important. Be aware of how much you're consuming in media and marketing, the influencers, the clothes, all that, like being really cognitive of that and taking that time. It's not bad. It's just all about balance. So making sure we have times for that.
And for parents, know how much your kids are taking in.
Yeah.
Your sons and your daughters. What social media platforms are they allowed to be on? Mm-hmm. How much time are they spending on TikTok, on Instagram? And not even how much time are they spending, but what are they spending their time doing on there? What are they watching? Yeah. What is the algorithm in their account? Is it bringing them joy? Is it pushing them toward positivity and a healthy lifestyle? Because if it's not, then I think that those things need to be reevaluated. And as the parent, that's our responsibility.
Yeah. And two, I think you put up a good point, Jenna. It's like, okay, I know they watch an influencer. Maybe I, as a parent, need to do some research on who this influencer is. What did they stand for? What are their values? And does it match the values of the family or the child that I'm raising to have? Right. Or what did they mostly post? Right. Is it more, body positivity, but like, how is it being done? Or is it more of a, it just really depends on what the message these influencers are giving. Not that they're all bad. It's just, okay, how is this going to affect my child? And how do we want them to view themselves the best we can?
Yeah.
So,
because they're, your children are going to do as you do and likely believe as you believe. And so also that kind of goes along with how we treat ourselves, to our children, our nieces, our students, our patients. Are we complimentary of ourselves? Are we kind to ourselves? Are we fueling our body and our soul? And so that type of modeling is also really important.
Yeah, very important. Well, guys, that's all of our information. Here's our references. So if you guys have any questions, you can go to this reference page, look at it, look any of our information up. It has it right here. So you guys can print, do whatever you want, and look at all that. So for our next slide, group counseling. So through Wellness Uncorked, we do offer free virtual group counseling classes, in person or virtual. So if you're ready to take the next step in prioritizing your mental health, we invite you to attend our Thrive Connection group counseling classes, available free through Wellness Uncorked. These classes will be held by Frontera's professional counselor associates, so Jenna and I and Caitlin, under the supervision of Dr. Amos, and are open to individuals and their immediate family members working in hospitality, service, or retail industries. Frontera also offers individual counseling and medical services, both in person and virtual, so it works for everybody. We take a lot of different insurances and offer a sliding scale to make healthcare affordable. So if you would like to learn more, you can call our behavioral health front desk at 830-362-2185 or visit our website. If you found today's video session helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on another Mindful Monday. We will go live on the first Monday of every month. We appreciate you being here and today, and we hope that next month on this Mindful Monday that you're welcome to join. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Please drop it, and we would love to hear from you, and have a wonderful Mindful Monday.
Thanks for being here.
Bye, guys.
Bye.